Welcome to the Slop Farm. Enjoy the video.
You start by verifying hardware and saving your data. You need a 64-bit CPU, enough RAM and disk, and TPM or an emulation plan. Once done, create a Chrome OS recovery USB so you can restore if needed. Next, on a separate Windows machine, download the Windows 11 ISO and use Rufus to build a UEFI GPT installer. Make sure the USB is tested. This avoids mid-install failures and prepares you to change firmware securely. Next, enter developer mode on the device and power wipe, then use the Mr. Chromebox firmware utility to dump your current firmware and save that backup externally for safety. Once backed up, carefully flash the full UEFI firmware build. This replaces Chrome's firmware so Windows can boot. After flashing, enter the firmware setup, set UEFI boot priority, and boot from your Windows USB installer. Make sure Secure Boot and TPM settings match your installer choices before proceeding to installation. With UEFI active, run the Windows 11 installer. Remove Chrome OS partitions, create appropriate GPT partitions, and let the installer finish. Once in Windows, immediately install chipset, audio, and network drivers. Get them from the original hardware vendor or use generic Microsoft drivers if necessary. Finally, enable Windows updates and verify activation. If anything goes wrong, firmware bricked or boot failures, restore the dumped firmware using the Mr. Chromebox instructions.
Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if we helped you today.